Alrighty, so I've just come back for the second time in the same day of watching Dragon Ball Super Broly. Now let me know, before I start, alright, this is going to be a spoiler review, so there's going to be spoilers about what happens in the movie and that. So if you haven't seen the movie, I recommend go see this movie. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, you're going to see it if you're a Dragon Ball fan. If you like anime and all that, you like fights, you like backstory, you like emotion and that, check it out because it is fantastic and you will get everything. You get everything you want. So you've been warned. Now we are going to dive into a spoiler review, and so yeah, make sure you see this movie before you actually come back and watch this. Otherwise, if you don't care and you want to just know what happens, then continue watching. So without further ado, let's get into this. Alrighty, so we're going to start from the beginning, and let me tell you, the beginning, you get this. Look, okay, so this is where I had the first problem. What I saw was the only problem of the movie was the first bit with the whole Saiyan history before you get to the Goku and Broly and Vegeta stuff. It concentrates on Bardock, King Vegeta, Paragus, Frieza, King Cold, and all that, and how that all happened. Now, Toriyama had like a 3-hour script written out or something like that, and obviously they're not going to have a 3-hour movie, so they had to cut it down. And you can see that at the start here, at the front of the movie, where you got the backstory and that they've cut things out. And you can see that they've cut things out throughout this, and which is a bummer. So I would love to see what Toriyama had for the whole thing. I would have loved him to have inserted all that. So whether or not they come back with a TV series and redo this movie like they did with Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, and they might actually add that in, but we'll wait and see. But otherwise, it is very so obviously you got King Vegeta meets Frieza for the first time, and they know that. So King Cold tells him that he's retiring effectively immediately. So he's retiring and handing everything he owns to Frieza. Now, so Frieza's now going to be in control, and basically King Cold tells the Saiyans, look, Frieza is more savage than me. He has a short temper and he will kill people. He doesn't care. And straight off the bat, boom, 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 he notices that there's three or four Saiyans with guns on him, and he just bam, 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 wipes them all out just to send a message. And so he shows you straight off the bat that Frieza means business. Now, it was good to see the Ginyu Force again in there. Yeah, Zarbon and Dodoria were there as well. So they didn't do anything. They were just there. So obviously they were with King Cold before they were with King Cold before they were what's his name, Frieza, which, that gives you back the story of, obviously, the Ginyu Force was there before Frieza took over, so I like that concept of it. Once King Cold and Frieza leave, it goes back to King Vegeta, and then, obviously, Paragus comes in after he finds out that, King Vegeta is sending Broly away because Broly's latent potential is greater than his son. And he sees Broly as more of a threat rather than be jealous. And Paragus is like, oh, you're jealous of him and that, rah, 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 so he's not happy about it. But King Vegeta just says to him, look, mate, he's a freak. He's a freak of nature. He's obviously got something about him that is just dangerous, not only to us and our planet, but to the universe. So he sends him off to planet Vampa, and then you see Paragus steals a ship, flies off, and yeah, that's where you see all this stuff, and he obviously gets to planet Vampa and sees, oh my god, this is just a crap of a place, what? And then the other Saiyan's like, oh, why would he send it here? There's no value. And he's like, Paragus is like, it's not about that. It's about he's going to try and end Broly so Broly doesn't, take him out. So basically, that goes into that. And then you get the snippet of when they're on planet Vampa. Paragus finds Broly, and it's like, wow, how did Broly defeat these monsters? And it turns out Broly went grade 8 because of the moon. He looked at it too long and that. So yeah, so now he cuts back to Bardock coming back 5 years after that, and he's coming back, and there's obviously Bardock knows something's up. And he's like, nah, this doesn't feel right. Why would we all have to come back here? So he's on it. And this is where it gets very Superman-esque like. So I'm not a big fan of Dragon Ball Minus. I don't like that story. I prefer the Bardock special. That was so much better. But what Toriyama did here with Bardock and that, he took both elements of both of them and put them together, which, you know, I was afraid that he was going to make Bardock not look like a badass like he did in the special. But he's still badass. He's still a badass in this movie, so which I like, and I'm pretty sure everyone loves Bardock. So that was good that they did this with him, and he steals a pod. You know, you see Gine for the first time in anime form, which is good to see, and she's saying to Bardock, "Why, Bardock? Why do you care so much about your kids all of a sudden? Saiyan fathers aren't supposed to do that." And he basically says, I'm sick of really destroying things and killing people and that. I just want to feel like I'm going to save something for now, and especially if it's my own son. So he puts him in the pod and they say goodbye. It's very emotional. It hits you hard. You know, especially when Bardock puts his hand up and Goku's hand meets it as well. And then they send him off and they tell him, look mate, if we're wrong and Frieza doesn't blow up the planet or kill us or anything like that, I'll come looking for you. And then they send him off, and then it cuts to Frieza basically coming up, blowing up the planet, and you got Bardock there with his armor all torn, wrecked and that, and he just says, F you, Frieza, I'm gonna try and stop you no matter what, and he shoots his blast, but obviously Frieza's way stronger, and you just see Bardock, and then it just, the whole planet does. We also get to see in that they send out a message to all the other remaining Saiyans that are left scattered all over the place. It cuts to Nappa, Raditz, and Vegeta, and Nappa with hair looks funny, but I'm glad we got to see them. So, yeah, that's when you see Raditz is like, oh, you know, Mum said they were sending Kakarot off to another place in a pod, so, but I don't care, really. And they addressed the Tarbell issue as well. They said, oh, Vegeta, don't you have a brother? And he's like, just throws it under the rug anyway, says, nah, I don't give a crap about him. So, that's all the Sand history that you get, which I thought, it was good. It did feel a bit rushed, so that's my only criticism of it. Other than that, I really enjoyed that. I want to see more of that heritage, that lore, the Sand stuff. I want to see how King Cold took over. I want to see more of that story. So yeah, that was well done, and it was brilliant. I mean, even though that felt rushed, it was still great. So yeah, now we get into the main timeline where we are currently in the present, and basically it starts off Goku, Vegeta smashing each other, sparring off. Beerus is there, Whis is there, Bulma's there. So they're all doing it and they're talking about this. This is where it gets funny because they're talking about why do you want to be stronger, and Goku's like, oh, I want to be stronger because there's people in the other universes that are stronger, and they got me all fired up and that. Vegeta just turns around and says, mate, you're an idiot. And then Whis asks Vegeta, why do you want to get stronger? He said, because I want to fight Frieza! Because Frieza's the big threat. And he basically accuses Goku that anything that happens to do with Frieza is on him because he's the one that brought Frieza back to help him and that. So, that scene was perfect. It just shows the relationship between Goku and Vegeta. They just work so well together. And you just, it's so good. Anyway, and then they find out Trunks and Goten ring Bulma to tell him that the Dragon Balls have been swiped. They've been swiped by the Freezers and by Frieza's army, so they now know, and they're off to the Ice Continent to find the final Dragon Ball before Frieza and that do. So yeah, so now we go back to Frieza's ship, and then Cheelai and Lemmo, I believe, are flying through, and they stumble across planet Vampa. They find Broly and Paragus, and they bring them on board. And this is where you see that Paragus is just he's a dick to Broly. He really is a dick. You see what Broly's gone through, and you can't hate the guy. His dad's a dick to him, really. And that one scene when where there's a Saiyan warrior that comes up. I mean, not a Saiyan warrior, a Frieza soldier comes up to try and hit on Chila and that, and try and get her over, and Broly just snaps, absolutely snaps. He's about to wreck this guy, and then Paragus zaps him, and that hits you because you're like, holy shit, that would have hurt, and you just feel for Broly because as soon as you meet Broly and that, and Paragus says he's got like this button that causes zap, Broly starts grabbing it, and you can just see the fear on his face of the pain that he causes. And you see that, and you're just like, oh my god, I feel sorry for this guy. And when he tells you the story about the pellet, why he's got the ear on and everything, and you're just like, bro, you can't hate him. The old Broly's just crap, because he's got no character of him. This Broly, he's got so much character. And I never thought I'd say this, but Broly's one of my favourite characters now. Never ever thought I'd say that, but Broly is. He's just so... oh, you can't hate the guy. So anyway, so Frieza's got this idea. He'll bring the Saiyans, and he will use Broly as his like warrior to fight Vegeta and Goku. So it starts off, they come in, Vegeta and that notice that, oh, there's another power level on that. So they start fighting, Broly comes in, he attacks Vegeta. So I like how the beef is with Vegeta, not Goku. It makes more sense, and that's what I really was hoping for. And I'll tell you what, Vegeta stomps Broly. Absolutely stomps him. Just absolutely stomps him. You know, when he changes from form to Red Vegeta looks sick, and he's just wrecking him. Absolutely wrecking him. Then Broly accesses Great Ape, but in his human form, and then his power goes straight through the roof, and he's able to compete with God Vegeta. Now, this is where Goku steps in and goes, look mate, I want a piece here. And Goku starts on his base, as Goku does, to test out, oh, how far do I have to go? He then hits God form, catches Broly in like this new technique he's got, and basically explains to Broly, look Broly, we live here in peace, among each other, we help each other out. I can see you're not a bad guy, you're not one of the villains that we fought before, you're different, we can help you. And Broly just basically said, has got no reason at the moment because he's lost his mind. He's all caught up in his power, and he just cracks and starts wrecking Goku. Goku then decides, oh crap, now I gotta go to Blue. Piccolo actually picks up on this, and he talks to Piccolo, tells him, look mate, I'll come here. If there's no other option, I'm gonna instant transmission to you. And basically, Broly just wrecks him. He goes Blue, and then he starts beating Broly. He absolutely starts beating him, and Frieza sees this. Now this is where you just see how savage Frieza really is. Because Frieza's saying to Paragus, is this really the limit? Is this all he's got? And Paragus goes, unfortunately, I think this is it. This is it. He's gonna die. Like this is the end of Broly. He's got nothing left. Frieza smiles and goes, I don't think so. And you had the flashback to when he kills Krillin in Z, and Goku snaps and goes Super Saiyan. Frieza then says to Paragus, shall we put him to a test? And turns around and shoots Paragus straight through the heart. Now, I want Paragus dead because he's a dick, but Frieza doing that, and then Frieza turning around, giving an Oscar-worthy performance, saying that, Broly, your dad died by a stray beam. Oh my god. Broly loses his shit, and he goes Super Saiyan, and this is when shit gets real. Frieza's like, oh my god, finally, here it is. This is what I wanted to see. Vegeta gets involved. 2 Super Saiyan Blues can't handle him. And this is great. They're flying to get away from Broly, and they come up, and who's there? Frieza standing there, except, have fun, Frieza. Fly past, and Broly murders Frieza. Just absolutely murders him. So they instant transmission out of there to Piccolo, and for the next hour, Frieza just gets mauled. Absolutely. Golden Form and all just gets absolutely floored by Broly. So then it cuts to Piccolo and Vegeta and Goku. They're showing him the pose, and they get it wrong twice, and then they finally get it right, and you just see Gogeta. They're coming up with the name, and the line where he's like, Piccolo's like, that doesn't matter, just go and defeat this guy. And then Gogeta's, no, wait, hold on. I'd sound much cooler with a name. just, you get that arrogance of him. And then, you know, it's a good mixture of Gogeta. Gogeta appears. Frieza's like, who the hell are you? And he basically say, I'm Gogeta. I'm Kakarot of Vegeta fused. And he basically says, you stay there, Frieza. We'll deal with you once I'm finished defeating Broly. And he goes off. Whis is just dodging, weaving in and out. Like, he's just like, ooh, very close. Like, just teasing him. Gogeta appears. Whis is, oh my god. Whis is just like, oh my god, here we go. Finally, they decided they're going to work together. This is going to be awesome. And Gogeta basically goes to work. You know, at the start, he's just testing him. He goes Super Saiyan, testing Broly. And then, bam, they crack the dimension to another dimension. We've never seen anything like this in Dragon Ball before. I thought Jiren and Goku's battle in the Tournament of Power blew my mind. This fight between Gogeta and Broly, oh my god, we've never seen anything like this. When they went through into the different dimension, holy moly. So he went full power Super Saiyan, Gogeta went blue. Oh, and once Gogeta went blue, he meant business. That's when he clicked and went, no, Broly's dangerous now. I've got to do something. He clicked and just boom, boom, boom. And they went back. Broly survived the Soul Punisher, for God's sake. That's how strong this guy is. And, oh, it was just, I was in awe of this fight. And, you know, Gogeta's got him down, absolutely ready to finish him off. Drives up a massive Kamehameha. He's like, Kamehameha! Ah, shoots it, and what's her name? Chi-Lai summons Shinron, saves Broly. Broly's back at Planet Vampa. They fly off. Gogeta basically says, grabs Frieza, says, "Don't kill him," and then it cuts to there, and obviously it goes back to Planet Vampa where they are with Broly. Frieza's still out there. He's got a master plan of using Broly later on. So there's a little, you know, hint towards what could possibly happen. And then it cuts. Goku appears. Now, Goku appears with some capsules to give him house, food, and all that so he can survive. He basically says, look, man, I'm not an enemy. I'm just here. I would like to fight and train with Broly. I can show him things that if he's interested in, I can help him fight better. And the line that we all thought was never, ever, ever going to be said in all of friggin' human history. Chi-Lai asks Goku, what's your name? Goku goes, I'm Goku. But Broly, you can call me Kakarot. And for Goku to say that, oh my god, this is like when he finally admits, look man, I may be a Saiyan and grew up on Earth, but I'm actually a full-blooded Saiyan, and he acknowledges his heritage, and this could be the moment where he wants to know more about his heritage. We'll have to wait and see, but for him to say, you can call me Kakarot, because only Vegeta calls him Kakarot, so obviously it must be a Saiyan thing where he's like, Broly is a Saiyan, and it's like, out of respect, call me Kakarot, because we are both Saiyans, and that's where the movie ends. Ends on that, Goku goes away, and we end there, so I would have to give this movie an A. I can't give it an A+ because of how rushed it was at the start, it felt. So that's the only downside to this movie. Other than that, it's a fantastic movie. Check it out if you're a cartoon, anime fan. You love Dragon Ball, check this out. This is the best Dragon Ball movie by far, I think. You know, I thought Battle of Gods was good, but this is just so good. So, yeah, enjoy it. Watch it, and I really recommend it to see this movie. And I tell you what, this movie's just, whew, oh, I'm so hyped for it. It was so good. It lived up to my expectations and went beyond. And it's only January, so there's plenty of more movies to come. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep smiling, and see you later.
Perfect.